Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Mr. Reality on the Psychic Medium Liz Cross Show. Liz, thanks for having me. How are you feeling?
Oh, this is going to be fun. I love this.
I learned from watching the Gala Awards. No, I didn't really watch that. I'm kidding. I learned this on the internet that Rihanna and $sign AP are pregnant with their third child. And I wondered if we've never talked to a baby in utero, but I wondered if we could do that and kind of get an idea of what the baby is feeling, what its emotions are, what it knows, what it senses.
Absolutely. So I have done this many times. I have talked to people's babies during readings. I talked to my own baby when I was pregnant. I love doing this.
Oh, cool. I've never done it, so it's going to be exciting. Um, how do we connect with this? Do we connect to Rihanna first or $8 AP or the baby? How does it work?
No, the baby. We go straight to the baby.
Oh, well, hi, baby.
So much enthusiasm for life, so much joy, really looking forward to being born. Here's the voices of Rihanna and the dad. Just, it has, it's got a big heart and it's just ready to bust out of there and experience life.
I read she might be due in December. That could be wrong. We'll find out later. But what emotions does the baby have? What capacity does it have as a baby?
Ooh, what emotions do you have? Mostly joy, love, enthusiasm. Um, Rihanna is a pretty chilled out person, is what I'm getting. Like, she's not anxious, she's not frustrated. I mean, she just really kind of chilled. And that's how moms or expectant mothers should be. Not putting stress on the baby, not really full of worries. And that's why the baby is so happy.
Is the baby aware of the telepathic connection with the mother and what does it feel? How does it emote?
Are you telepathically connected to the mom? I mean, not yet. More so when it is born, the baby is born, it will then use telepathy to assess mom's, personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions, right? How's she feeling? Is she happy? Is she sad? Does she love me? What do I need to do in order to, get her to hold me and touch me and love me and this and that?
Oh,
Um, I feel like Rihanna is pretty much a free range kind of parent. She likes for children to explore and find their own way. She's not very strict. Not saying she's not strict, that may not be the right word, but she allows time and room for a lot of exploration.
so as a baby, what is the baby aware of in its surroundings? Does it recognize a father by the sound? Does it recognize animals by the sound?
Do you recognize? Listens to a lot of music and feels the bass going boom, 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 going into the womb or the uterus. Wonders what that is, but it's used to it. Do you hear the? Yes, here's the fathers, and also hears the voices of the siblings. Um, feel that there's other family members or voices around that the baby hears a lot. Knows mom's voice, definitely. Um, and it's just like, wow, this must be so exciting. You're all out there. I'm stuck in here. It's just amazing, really.
What's it like to be in a baby body versus being in spirit? Does it remember or has it been mind wiped?
Ooh, have you been through? Yeah, it's already been through the mind wipe. Okay.
Okay.
That mind wipe happens, and I actually got this in a reading not too long ago. There's some sort of chamber that the soul steps into, and it wipes the consciousness, not necessarily the soul consciousness, but any residual consciousness that is developing outside of the soul that could attach to the body, and that's how it mind wipes. So you've already gone through yes, it's already gone through the mind wipe. This is a brand new existence for this baby. Now, do you still have connections to the soul? And the baby saying, yes, I do still have connections to the soul. And do you remember anything? No, not really. This is starting over from scratch. So building a new consciousness and a new set of memories. Um, do you wish that you could go back into the soul? No, it does not. So do you realize that you have a soul? No, it doesn't have that level of consciousness yet. Now, something that babies can do when their mothers are pregnant is sometimes they can actually energetically leave the womb, meaning the
Ooh.
body is still there, but the consciousness can project outside of the womb just to get a good look at what's going on there. And let's ask the baby, have you done this? Oh, yes, several times, several times. The consciousness will travel outside of the mother's body and look down on the mother and everybody else.
Was that astral projection, out of body experience?
Ooh, was that outer body experience? It's similar to an outer body experience. Yes, that was a good question.
How many times has the baby done that? And how many times they plan to do it before December?
How many times? It's done it 3 times so far. And are you going? No, as the baby is getting bigger, it tends to not do that.
Can cats and dogs see that projection of the soul when it's outside of the body or the consciousness?
Oh, can animals see? Yes, they can.
What are some life lessons that you're eager to learn once you spend time on Earth?
What are some life lessons you're eager to learn? Oh, anything. You see how happy and joyful and enthusiastic this baby is. And then, like we said in the CTT, I think it was last week, it's sad because when children are born, they come in with so much zest for life. And then over the lifetime, it beats you down to the point where you stay here long enough, especially if you're into a very old age. When you hear people say, very elderly people are like, I'm just so ready. Why do I have to keep hanging around here? That's because the life cycle beats the enthusiasm out of you.
Does the baby feel like it's been in this position before? Like, what is the conscious memories that a baby has as a baby?
Right now, there's not a lot of conscious memories. I mean, it really is just like food, drink, voices, sounds. Whenever how like mothers always touch their tummies and they rub it
Right.
and they pat it, right? That is sending energy into the baby, and the baby knows that mom is patting the stomach. Um, so really right now, conscious mind memories, not a lot.
Is there anything the baby doesn't like that's happening outside?
Ooh, is there anything that you don't like that's happening? Doesn't like it when mom sleeps because it's too quiet. I feel like this baby's like up all night.
I was going to ask about sleeping patterns. Does the baby sleep like normally, or is it always up? Does it have a chance to sleep in there?
Mm, do you sleep? Oh, yeah, it sleeps like how often? About every hour or so, but it just takes lots of short naps. Do you ever sleep for like a long period of time? Sometimes like 3 hours. But yeah, it doesn't like it when mom is asleep and quiet. It gets a little anxious, like what's happening? There's nothing going on. I don't hear anything. Do you have the consciousness to know that maybe mom's asleep? I mean, I guess as far as the baby can define it, it's like, oh, good, she's moving again. She's up. She's And also here's all the sounds of the stomach, like the, when your stomach makes noises and things
Gurgle,
like
gurgle.
that. Yeah.
What's the passage of time like from the perspective of the baby inside the womb?
What is the passage of time like? It doesn't have a concept of time. Now, that does not surprise me because anybody who has a small child or has had a small child, you know that time is never an issue. We got to
It's
be at so
nighttime.
and so, you
Wah.
know? What do you mean? We have to be, I don't even know what 10 minutes is. What on earth are you talking about, right?
I wonder if we could bring in the baby's soul or higher consciousness and ask about its life lessons.
Okay, so the baby, the soul, is actually Rihanna's grandmother, great grandmother.
Wow. And it's her time to come back.
And this baby is going to follow in mom's footsteps and is also going to be exceptionally famous.
Wow. That's
The other
exciting.
two, not so much. They have different things and different ideas and different futures. This one is going to be energetic, wants to be just like mom. Is who's more of an influence throughout the life, mom or dad? Definitely mother is more influential than dad. Not saying he's a bad person or anything like that. I mean, I don't know too much about him, but certainly as I'm tapping into the soul right now, it's more aligned with the mother. Wants to be successful, wants to be an entrepreneur, wants to create things, wants to create music, going to be very, very famous, going to have a lot of children.
I don't know much about him either, other than he probably gets things done very quickly and makes money at it. When we speak to the great grandmother as a soul and as an individual, does that signal line dim versus speaking to the over consciousness of the baby?
Does that signal line dim? Not really. No, the soul is very strong at the moment. And is happy to be able to be with Rihanna. Has a lot of respect for her. Is excited that this is the present day scenario. I do feel like this baby is going to put them through the ringer a little bit with its personality. Like it's going to be a little tough. Um, but they'll make necessary adjustments, you know?
Can we ask great grandmother what her life plan is like as this baby and if she's had any like past karmic debt that she needs to settle with Rihanna mom or a dollar sign AP dad?
More karmic debt with the dad than the mom. This baby and the mom are going to get along like a house on fire because they're so much alike, okay?
Ha.
Um, More so of a lack of understanding from the dad, a lack of acceptance. When a child aligns more strongly with one parent than the other, the parent feels kind of lost in some ways. So I feel that there will be a bit of a disconnect there. And that's part of the lesson. It's like, why am I not fully accepted by dad? It's just going to be a bit of a clash of personality. Also, this fierce independence that this baby has.
Has Rihanna and a dollar sign AP been together in a past life?
Have they? Oh, yeah, they've had many past lives together. I don't know if they're going to stay together in this lifetime.
What are the greatest challenges that they have in this lifetime was the question I had for you next. So it's funny you said that.
Again, they clash in personality a lot too. As in, it's hard to deal with Rihanna's fierce independence. She's always been her own person, nonconformist, um, her own ideas. And I just feel that there's a lack of communication going in the future. Maybe not necessarily now, but certainly in the future, there's a lack of communication. He's going to struggle to keep up with her.
And great grandma baby.
Yeah, once you get through this early sort of phase, they may end up having one or two more children though. But once they get through this, like the baby and the small child phase, they'll start to regain their independence as artists, as musicians, and that's when they may like kind of go their separate ways. Certainly on the communication scale, because they're very different artists. They create very different things. So that's where this kind of, I'm doing my thing and you're doing your thing will be difficult because obviously artists become very, very busy. She is going to make a comeback after this, and she is going to be even more popular than ever before. And I feel there's going to be a bit of jealousy about that from him. So that will cause a rift and he'll feel left out. And I think that that could be, I don't see it in the, close future, but I certainly see at some point in the future that they will try to maintain friendship and live very close to one another, but there is a possibility of a breakdown in the
Hmm.
marriage or
How
in the
much
relationship.
how much of great grandma's time is spent looking after her new baby body versus what she's doing on the spirit plane?
Oh, gosh, that's a really good question too. It's about 50-50 at the moment. So it's about clearing up some unfinished business on a soul level. Are you still making contracts? No, contracts are already, signed and sealed. Um, but really gathering as much information, getting advice, seeing what options are still out there while she has the opportunity, speaking she is in the great grandmother, um, and gathering, just as much information as she can.
And then when the baby's born, how much time will be split between soul plane and earthly duties for grandma, great grandma?
90-10. So 90 on the earth plane, 10 sort of, soul plane duties, but those soul plane duties will only be explored when the baby is sleeping. Now, of course, in the early stages, babies, well, I don't know, you guys may have had different babies to me, but babies are supposed to sleep, right? My kids don't sleep. I don't know. My kids, they've never been sleepers. They've always been extremely energetic. I mean, they wear you down. And even now, it's just like, God, I'm passing out before they do. But when the baby sleeps, then there will be time for like that soul exploration. But of course, the conscious mind and the soul, I mean, with the conscious mind being so new and just trying to figure out how to survive, that it won't make those connections, which is why a lot of times the soul is still allowed to explore, but then as we're going into toddler years and then preschool and then like kindergarten, that exploration becomes less and less, and particularly around the age of 6, I'm getting.
I just wanted to ask great grandma about the baby's soul. And is there any chance that you could like get negative karmic or bad experiences if the situations are happening while you're still in the womb? Like, can we pick up on negative mojo, negative fights, yelling, and how does that negatively impact the in utero baby?
Well, that's not really happening in this case,
Okay.
but let's ask in the case that that is happening. Now, that is traumatizing to a baby. So, and the lack of food, lack of nutrition I'm getting is very important also. When the baby is lacking nutrients, it feels it. It knows that it's not getting nutrients. It feels like it is starving. So if you're just eating like empty food with no nutrient content, the baby is actually starving on the inside. Wow, I did not know that. I mean, I always eat very well when I'm pregnant, but there are a lot of people that can't afford to eat well. They can only afford to eat, maybe fast food, or God help you if you have morning sickness and you're eating fast food, but whatever.
Do
Or if they're eating, just empty carbs and empty calories. Um,
do motherly
that those
cravings come from like a telepathic message from the baby, or does it come from a different place?
No, that God, that's a good question. No, the cravings are coming from the energy center of the baby saying, I need this to grow. This is really important. You have to give this to me. I need it. I am deficient. So, wow, it's important to give in to those cravings. Now, typically, and I don't know, the audience may disagree with me, but typically, girls, if you're pregnant with a girl, you crave sweets, and if you're pregnant with a boy, you crave savories. Well, let's ask this question. Why? Why is it some people crave sweets? And it's something to do with the minerals in those sweets. And then why do boys? Oh, because boys need protein. Boys are reliant upon, building stronger bodies than girls when they're in the womb. Oh
Wow.
God. Okay, that's cool.
And so you said energy, so it's not telepathic, but it's like that energy connection with the mother. And does that go through the umbilical cord?
Does that go through the umbilical cord? Yeah, it goes through the placenta, and the placenta sends signals to the mother's stomach, to the the switches in the mother's stomach. This is okay, I need this, I need that, I'm lacking. So in and around the mother's body. So it connects energetically to those signals, those switches. And it says, okay, we need this, feed me
Huh.
that.
Is there a third consciousness in the placenta?
The placenta, God, these are excellent questions. The placenta has its own consciousness, and the consciousness of the placenta is for the baby to stay alive.
And what happens to that consciousness once the baby is alive and it's discarded? Is that have any negative impact on the baby?
It doesn't have a negative impact on the baby. Does it have a negative impact on the placenta? I mean, the placenta doesn't have a soul, right?
Okay.
So, but with its consciousness, it says, I did the job I was supposed to do. But then, of course, not saying in this case, okay, I don't want anybody to think that Liz is making any sort of prediction. But then I was saying, well, what happens if, there are problems with the delivery, or there's problems with the baby or something like that? Then how does the placenta feel? And then the placenta actually has a consciousness. It picks up on there's a problem, and that it feels like a failure.
How long does the placenta consciousness remain after delivery and after it is no longer necessary?
24 hours. But some people, I know this is going to gross most people out. And by the way, when I watched this little show, it grossed me out as well. but there are people that believe that they should consume the placenta after the baby is born.
I've
Now,
heard about that.
some animals do that, yes, but there was some sort of BBC show years ago where they kind of had this little placenta eating party and they started eating the mother's
We're not
placenta.
encouraging this in any way.
No,
Should
no,
we thank
God.
our own placenta now, or is it time gone too far beyond its consciousness? Does it like linger? Because I'm trying to, thank everything that's helped me along the way. I thank each and every one of you out there for supporting Liz and supporting me. Um, but if we
And
thank
our
the placenta
placentas.
now, decades later, is that, oh, should we do that?
No, well, the energy of the placenta has completely dissipated.
Okay.
But that was a good point because even in the CTT session this morning, we got that at the end of every day, you should give, one or two lines of gratitude, heartfelt gratitude, where you should thank each and every soul that contributed to your existence and well-being for that day. And that stems from the CTT session. You'd have to go, and for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go to the CTT channel. That is the backup channel anyway. If for any reason this channel gets taken down, we're going to start generating content on that backup channel. Instead of just the CTT, it will be CTT plus what we normally do, right? So make sure you're subscribed to that backup channel. But also the CTT is like free energy healing. You should go there. And where we got this information from today was from a CTT session over the weekend where somebody, bit into a piece of food and they threw it in the trash and they said, you know what? Nah, I don't really want it. And so that purpose of being here on the earth plane of that soul, which was to feed and energize and sustain others' lives here on the earth plane, felt this sense of rejection on a soul level. So out of that CTT session, we got you should go to the end of every day. Well, you should certainly be thankful for all of the food and water and everything that you consume each and every day. But also at the end of the day, you want to give thanks to each and every soul that has contributed to your existence here on the earth plane for that day.
It's a lot of thanking to do, and I thank you, Liz. I thank each and every one of you out there. I thank Rihanna and $8 sign AP and Great Grandma Baby and all of you out there. Here's the backup channel on the screen. Go check it out. Consciousness Transformation. Drop the N 765. Subscribe there. Watch some CTT videos that we do every Monday. Awesome to have
Okay,
this conversation with you, Liz. Thank you.
thank you. And I will go ahead and put in that the $8 sign AP is actually ASAP Rocky. I know that
I
because
just
I know
wanted to
their
say it for
music.
hilarity's sake the whole time to make me seem really old.
Yeah, we've like sort of dated ourselves with this video now.
I
Oh God,
wanted
they're
to do it
really not
because I did
trendy.
it
But
out of jokes. See you later. Bye,
honestly,
ASAP.
right, ASAP. Honestly, full disclosure, I like Rihanna. Uh, I don't like her live shows. Sorry, Rihanna, if you're listening. I don't like you live. Not that I've ever seen you live in person, but I've seen enough of YouTube to know. But overall, I really like her music. And there are a couple of songs of his that I've listened to in the past that are
And
really
I'll just
good.
say that's a pretty Smurfy baby bump she's got there. Smurfalicious.
Oh, I like her. She's so pretty and I like her.
All right. Good
So
luck, Rihanna.
thank you. This was so great for putting this together. We really appreciate it, Mr. Reality.
See you next time.